How's it going, guys? It's a final render here, and welcome to the third and final part of our Prydwen building in Fallout 4 building with mods. This has been a pretty long series actually to get all three of these parts out. The first one was a settlement build, second one was a creation kit build, and now in this third one we're finishing off some of the final areas, and also there was an awful lot of bug fixing which I had to do. You might have actually seen some of the improvements already if you've been updating the mod as the updates have come out. I believe I've updated it maybe 9 times since the last one came out, so some of the improvements are already there, and some of the other ones will be available at the end of this video. Let's go. So what did I actually fix in order to kind of get this place running a bit more effectively on the systems? Well, firstly, some cosmetic things. Originally, the dining hall said dinner, which is wrong, and it's meant to say diner, so I actually changed it to say mess hall. Actually feels a bit more lore-friendly. And also, I had to remove one of the sets of tables from the diner, simply because it was interfering with people's nav meshing, and people were just walking into it. And also, similar to nav meshing, there was a big problem. I had actually built some sets of soldier accommodation and a shower area by one of the staircases, but unfortunately, one of the main characters has to go down that particular set of stairs for the quest Blind Betrayal. So therefore, if you were doing the Brotherhood of Steel run and you got to that quest, you wouldn't be able to finish it because the character would just walk into the wall endlessly. So I actually had to remove the soldier accommodation, remove the shower area, and put the stairs back into place originally where they were. I had to line them up exactly right, and also I had to go ahead and re-nav mesh them. So therefore, if you were one of the people who are having problems with the Blind Betrayal quest line, you should now be able to carry on using this mod and still be able to finish that quest. It took a long time to actually work out what the actual issue was, but I got it sorted in the end. And now for a new feature. As you guys know, in part 1 I actually showed you how to build up this place as a settlement, but in this case I actually decided to convert the Prydwen living quarters into a buildable settlement yourself. The first video I did was actually a settlement build video, so you couldn't download it, you couldn't build in there yourself, it was just for you to watch on YouTube. But now I've made it so every object is scrappable, which originally they weren't, only about half of the objects were scrappable originally. And I've also added a workshop, so now if you have got this mod, you will be able to decorate and build in your very own living quarters. I have no idea why it wasn't there in the original game. I don't know, I really think it's something that Bethesda kind of overlooked if I'm honest, but now you can. And now it is time to make a soldier recreation area. And the idea with this is to just kind of make a relaxing place and also a fun place, because whilst I am sure there is plenty for the soldiers to do on the Prydwen by the way of cleaning, training, maintaining equipment, repairing equipment, etc. You do need a place to chill out, and we're also going to add some functionality as well. Firstly, we have got a boxing ring. Now, at first I wasn't too sure if I wanted to put this in here until I saw some videos on YouTube of US Marines training. And they do put them in boxing gear and tell them to just fight each other. So I thought maybe the guys in the Brotherhood of Steel would do the same thing by having a little boxing ring with boxing gloves to keep it safe. They've also got a tiny little TV area. Whilst it is true that the Prydwen runs on nuclear power and it's probably got nuclear energy running out of its behind, I decided to only have one television in order to preserve power. And instead of having electrical entertainment, we have got some tables, and they will have some chairs with some board games, some books, and everything like that, so you can kind of chill out with your friends, play a board game, read a book, read a magazine, etc., so that you can chill out in your off hours. And now, we needed some more functionality, because I had a lot of extra space, and I wasn't just going to fill it with tables and chairs, that's silly. So I decided to make a large briefing area. This is a place which has lots and lots of chairs and also a little display at the front, so that whenever the Brotherhood of Steel have a mission, the soldiers will come to this section, and then Elder Maxon or whoever it is that is leading the mission will go ahead and give them all the mission details. We've got all the seating you need, we've also got a projector in there as well as a map, so therefore they can properly point out what the Brotherhood of Steel is doing and where the soldiers need to go. So here is the recreation room and the little briefing area completely done. It looks pretty nice actually. It's got a lot of open space so people can still walk around. The recreation area deliberately looks a little bit more run down because the soldiers haven't really been caring for it in the way that they really should. Because it's a relaxing area, they just kind of sit there and chill out. They don't really think about keeping it in tip-top shape, which is bad, but I think adds a little bit of realism to it, just a little bit. And the briefing area, I actually really quite like. It does make sense, you know, it's fairly large actually. There are an awful lot of chairs in here, but it would make sense that you would need a bit of open space and people to sit down to get their missions, because if you think about it, if you actually just play the vanilla game, it looks like they just walk up to the senior officer and just say, what should I do next? That doesn't make sense. You need a briefing area so you can give these soldiers proper details. And now, seeing as I deleted the shower and restroom area, I decided I needed to put some more back in there. Now I decided to use these kind of pod containers in order to do the showers and restrooms. Originally I wasn't too sure of the idea, I just thought about having another room, but this actually kind of works. It actually looks a bit quirky and a little bit interesting, as well as making sense. The idea is that it's kind of like a giant porta potty that you see at a music festival, and it's got showers in there, and it has got toilets and sinks in there, so that the Brotherhood of Steel can properly get all of their hygiene sorted. And also, since it's like a contained unit, it kind of makes sense that you would be able to deploy these around, so you could easily make some more that would look identical to this if you are out in the field. So it kind of makes sense to have kind of modular rooms that you can kind of take apart and put back together quickly. And also, since it's like a little pod, maybe you can make it so that it would be a punishment to go and clean these things out, because it would be a small confined area, it would be a bit smelly, it would be very damp, so therefore maybe if you had misbehaved in the Brotherhood of Steel, one of your punishments would be to go and clean the head, i.e. rinse out the shower pods, which is not a very nice thing. Add some final nav meshing so people can get around, and here we go, with the shower pods completely done. I actually did change the texture a little bit in order for the final release, so you can see that when you download it. But I actually really like this place. It looks clean, it's practical, and I actually much prefer it over the tiny room I did in part 2, because the tiny room, not only was it a bit boring, but also it was a nightmare to fit together, and it had little missing bits in the walls and stuff like that. It was very slapdash, but I think this actually works much better. Now we've got some male and female accommodation for the showers. And now for the science area. I really didn't do too much to the science area, because not only is there an awful lot of important NPCs around this place, I didn't want to interfere with that too much, but I also felt as if it didn't really need it. It actually had a pretty nice look to it already. We have actually gone ahead and added some more autopsy tables so people can see what the enemies are like, and we have also kind of expanded this little mole rat pen. There were just 2 mole rats sitting in here with nothing to do. They had a bowl of water and that's it. But now we have given them some more water, we've added an extra one, and given them some dog houses to sleep in. And here you can see me add in some dead bodies to the autopsy tables. I think it would make sense that you would have chairs around the autopsy so that the soldiers could learn about the enemies they're fighting so they could get an edge in combat. I think that's quite a believable thing, and you see that stuff at universities all the time. So here we go with the science lab fully done. As I said, I really didn't do too much in a way to change this place, because it actually did feel quite nice. We have got more autopsy tables with chairs around so that the soldiers can learn about the enemies that they will be fighting. We have improved some of the accommodation for the mole rats in there, and to tell you the truth, this area does feel really good. But there is one thing that always bothered me about this place, and that is the Nernroots. So I've actually renamed them as Nernroots, just as like a little funny little thing in there. They're obviously Nernroots, don't you damn mess with us, Bethesda, we know what's really there. And that is the end of the science build. And that is also the end of the Prydwen build. As I said, there really wasn't too much in this video. The video is a bit shorter for that reason. But I am very happy to say that I have completed the Prydwen enhanced overhaul build. It's been really cool over the last 3 videos to add all of these new areas to the Prydwen. There are a couple areas I deliberately did not touch, such as Elder Maxon's accommodation for example, because they just didn't really need to be changed too much. They were kind of good as they are. But for the main kind of functionality of the Prydwen, I think it is much better. All the rooms themselves have now been fully expanded, and all of the facilities are now much better and much more believable. So if you want to actually improve your Brotherhood of Steel experience when you're on the Prydwen, this mod would be an absolutely fantastic download for you. It is available on all systems, and I think it is a really nice way to actually kind of replay Fallout if you're doing the Brotherhood of Steel route, because the Prydwen, it was a lovely place, it was a great idea, but you know what? There just wasn't enough there. But now we have added an awful lot of stuff into the Prydwen to make it feel like a much more believable and also much more realistic military base. The Brotherhood of Steel is a huge organisation, and the Prydwen, in its vanilla form, just doesn't cut it. So guys, thanks very much for watching these 3 videos. I really hope you have enjoyed them. If you want to see more Fallout 4 building with mods, you can check out some of the playlists. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and a thumbs up. And until next time, I'll see you around. This has been the final render, and you have been the audience. Bye bye for now.